Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple stone. So this is not going to be that long of a video, hopefully anyway, unless I screw up, which I usually do. But this is called a Pilbara and it's a stone from Australia, and I believe it's a type of Jasper. And I'm just going to show you this because it's really quick, really easy, and it looks really cool. Alright, so I've got some Premo black clay rolled out onto my thickest setting on my pasta machine here, and I've also got another strip of black clay rolled out onto a number 3 for the backing fillator. You'll also need a little bit of clay, other clay in different colours. And the colours that I've seen in the stone are mainly like a deep orange, a bright green and a bronze. So that's what I'm going with. I've got this Premo, I think this is the cadmium red, but I'm going to mix in a tiny little bit of yellow to make it more of the orange that I'm looking for. So that's going to get mixed together. And then I've got the Premo bright green pearl and some bronze. So two of the colours have got some mica powders in them, and that you do need that. You do need at least two of the colours to have some mica powder in them. So I'm just going to mix this yellow into the red just to give it that colour that I'm looking for. It is a red, but it's leaning to a little bit of an orange side of red, so I added the yellow just to make it look closer to the real colour in the stone, like so. So it's just a little bit more orangey, and these are going to get balled up into teardrop shapes so I can make a blend. So I'm just going to roll them into teardrop shapes like so I can make a blend. I'll go and do the rest off camera. Okay, so I've got my little teardrops. I've got the red, the bronze and the green, and I'm going to put them in that order as well. And this copper going into the green makes this really nice coppery green colour, which is another kind of colour that you want in there. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So make sure you put them in that order. I'm just going to roll them out flat enough to go through my pasta machine to make a blend. As you can see, I haven't got a lot of clay here, it's just a small blend that I'm making. Alright, so I'm going to pass this through my pasta machine, pass it through like so, and then fold it back over colour to colour, pass it through this way again, and I'm going to keep doing that until I've got my blend. So there's the blend. What I'm going to do now is elongate this. I'm going to turn it on its back, fold it over, colour to colour, so green to green, bronze to bronze, red to red. I'm just going to tuck that little bit in and then fold this over so I've got a rectangular shape now. And I'm going to pass this back through the pasta machine, and I'm going to take it down to probably a number 5. So I'm just going to pass that through and I'm going to take it down this way. I'll stay on camera for that. So I'm passing it down on a 3 now, and it broke a little bit, so I'm just going to mush that back together. Not that it matters a great deal. And then I'm going to take this down to actually I'm going to take it down to a 6, guys. A 6. 0 is the thickest setting on my pasta machine, which is an Atlas 150, and 9 is the thinnest, so this is quite thin, so you'll end up with a longer strip like this, like so. And I'm going to start to roll it up, starting with the red. And I like to give it a little squash and a little pinch as I go. That helps to get rid of any air bubbles and get a nice tight roll. Like so. Excuse me. I probably sound a little bit croaky this morning because, well, it won't be this morning by the time you get to watch it, but I didn't sleep all night for some reason. I could not get to sleep, so I'm a little bit groggy. So just keep rolling down the length of the strip like so, giving a little mush as you go, and you'll end up with a plug that looks like this. And mine's gone a little bit wonky on this side, but oh well. just give it a nice little push together. We want to give it a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a push, a little bit of a roll, just to make sure all those colours are nicely condensed. And that's as simple as that. Give it a little roll. We're not reducing this by any particular amount, but I do want to make sure that it's nice and squashed in there, nice and tight, which you can see it isn't on this end, so I'm just going to have to press it a little bit until it is, and get rid of that because that looks a bit gnarly. Okay, so you're just going to make your little, oh, it's really not come together very well in the centre there, has it? But it's not a big deal actually for this, because all we're going to do now is turn it up on its end like so, and we're going to take thin slices down the side of the cane like so, and that's all you're going to do. I want to keep some of that green, so I'm just going to take some of those edges off like that, and then we can just cut the rest of the way. And as you cut through, you'll get this nice little striation of colours. And we're probably not going to use all of this cane, so if there's any left you can make some more. Stick back together. Alright, so it's rough and ready. It's not, you know, overly precise. And then what I'm going to do is take some of these little pieces and pass them through my pasta machine on a number 7. So that's even thinner than what I rolled out the strip on. And you're just going to end up with pieces like that. So like I say, you're not going to need all of this, but I'll just show you. And you can just see those mix of colours all kind of nicely blended together. So I'll just do a few of those. Like so. This is so easy, guys. But I really love the look of these. I thought I'd show you how I did it. It's not that different to how I did my labradorite technique, really. Okay. Alright, so when you've got your pieces rolled out, let's just get this other piece here. And you're definitely not going to need all of this. I'm just going to put those little pieces to one side. They can be used for later. So when you've got all your pieces rolled out, you can now start adding it onto the black backing clay, and I'm just moving it to make some room. Alright, so excuse me. So take your pieces and just start to tear. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just stacking them wherever I think looks good, and I do want to keep some of that green quite obvious here and there. So I'm just tearing and randomly placing wherever. Let's get some of that red in there though. And it's okay to overlap them. Oh, that's probably a bit too much red on its own, although it doesn't matter a great deal, but I'm just going to break that up a little bit so there's not too much of a block of one colour in one place. I'm just going to put that there. So you can see I'm kind of overlapping. I'm just filling in the black basically. It's all going to get rolled flat. Let's put that there, put that up there. that strip here. And then this down here, and this here. Let's get a little bit more red in somewhere. And like I say, it's fine to overlap. Okay, so when you've got your sheet of black clay covered like that, you've still got a little bit left over there. Well, I have. And we're just going to give it a quick roll just to smooth it out a bit. And then I'm going to get a piece of paper, and you know what's coming, a jolly good burnish. So I've got my steel soap for that, and I'm going to rub-a-dub-dub all over the piece. Now these steel soaps are in my Amazon storefront, and they are perfect for burnishing. So burnish, 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 make sure everything's on there nice and good and smooth and flat. You can feel with your fingers at intervals. I'm just going to lift this off the paper because sometimes if you burnish it can stick to the paper and it's hard to get off, so I like to just do that periodically. Alright, and then just keep burnishing until you know it's nice and smooth. And I think that's probably good. Alright, so I'm just going to take this off now and put this on my tile because it needs to stick to something while we do the next step. Put that out of the way. I've got myself a nice sharp flexible blade. Well, actually it's probably not as sharp as I'd like it to be, but sharp enough. I'm just going to give that a quick roll just to make sure it really is stuck on there. Like so. Okay, next thing you're going to do is, yeah, I've got my flexible blade, but I forgot you need your rigid blade first, and you're going to turn it upside down and you're going to push it into this clay. Try not to go all the way through to the bottom, and you're just going to zigzag in all directions. You could even do some curves like this, just randomly all over the stack, all over the slab. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm putting quite a lot of cuts into this, like so. And I think that's good. Okay, now you need your flexible blade. And although this is an easy stone to make, the shaving isn't so easy. It does take a little bit of practice. So get yourself a sharp, flexible blade, and you're just going to start taking off some little shavings. Now you can go deeper in some areas, less deep in others, and that's what I'm aiming to do. And if you get any pieces like this that look decent, you can use those as well in a different piece. So I'm just going to take little pieces off like this, and you can see I'm revealing some of that black underneath, but it's leaving those lines behind. That's what you want. So I'm just going to take some more off here. I'm just going to keep going down all the length of this slab, and in some areas I'm not going to go as deep. Like here I've not gone as deep. In other places I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper up here and try and salvage at least some of these little shavings that we can use down the road. Like, they're very thin, so you know it might not be usable for something else, but I'll try and get a few that can be usable. See, I've gone a little bit deeper on that one to reveal more of the black, and that's fine. So it does take some practice, just go slow. Some decent pieces here that can be used. I'm just going to get rid of this little bit here. Just shave down a little bit more, and this area here. So you just keep playing around, guys, until you've got it how you like it. I'm just going to take quite a bit of that away. Just shave a little bit off here. And it does take some time because you don't want to rush it. But you can see as I'm going down, I'm slightly bending my blade like this. And I'm not holding it out here and doing that. I'm holding it more like this, more in the middle, and gently curving it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go and do the rest off camera, but like I said, you can probably salvage quite a few of these little shavings, and you can always use them on another veneer. Just roll out some more black clay and just place those randomly. I think they look better. I think the piece looks better from this cut, but you can still use them. You can still use the shavings. Alright, I said I was going to go off camera. I'm going to go off camera and finish this, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've taken off as much as I want to take off. Now, looking at the stone, some are quite busy and have a lot on like this. Some are less busy and more black is shown. So it's all on you. You could always take a little bit more off if you wanted to. Like, for example, I could go down here and take a little bit more off. But I think I'm good with that. Yes. Alright, so now you just need to get some paper and just really give this a good burnish now. I'm just going to go with my fingers to start with. And then I'm going to lift it up. Gently lift it up. And pop it on my backing sheet now. Bring that over. I'm just going to pop that on there, like so. Alright, let me just get this paper out of the way, make a little bit of room, and I've left some shavings here, look, to one side, but I'll see if I might do something with those, I don't know. But like I say, you can just take those decent pieces and relay them onto some more clay and make another little stack. To be honest, and I brought the other pieces up, look, to be honest, it's not a lot. It's really not a lot, and you can just mix that up and into a different colour. Alright, I'm going to get my roller. I'm going to try and get that frog out of my throat. And just roll that on there to make sure it's nicely on that backing clay. And then we are going to give this another jolly good burnish. This really does need to be nice and smooth now, guys, so you can be quite firm with your pressure on this to make sure it's all nicely smoothed out. And it's as simple as that. It is so simple, but I saw the stone and I thought, oh, I really like that. The other thing I will say is some of them had a real high shine to them, so I guess they were highly polished. Others weren't as shiny. So you can sand and buff, and or you could put some UV resin on, whichever, or even Kato liquid clay. I think I'll do a mixture of shiny and not so shiny. I've not decided whether I'm going to use liquid clay or resin at this point. I'm probably just going to go with resin, just because it's a little bit quicker than having to cure the Kato, heat gun the Kato, apply another thing of Kato, etc. I'll just do one quick layer of resin. But I have done some pieces with the Kato liquid on, so I will show you those at the end and you can see the difference. So I am going to sand and buff some, and I'm going to resin others. And then the choice is yours, what you want to do. when you make it. Alright, so I've got that nice and smooth now, apart from that little bit down there, which probably isn't a big deal because I'm probably not going to utilise that, but just in case. Alright, so I've got that nice and smooth. Just going to lift that up. Do I want to do something with these little scraps? Or do you know what, guys? I'm not going to, but you get the idea. I'm just going to scrunch this up into a little ball and mix it for a core bead or something. Like I say, just take those little pieces, whatever you've got left, and place them back on some backing clay, and you've got another little veneer, but really it's just a tiny bit, so I'm just going to ball it up. Alright, so I'm going to do some moulds with this. Now, unfortunately, I got these moulds from a shop that is no longer open. So obviously, if you don't have any moulds, you don't have to use moulds, but I just thought I'd show you what they look like in moulds. Obviously, I've still got cutters from Oh Joy Creations that I'm probably going to use as well. I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet, but I've got some ready to choose from. So I am going to use, actually I think I'll just use this one mould to show you. Like I say, the guy I got these from, he's in Russia, and is currently, his Etsy shop is currently not open, for obvious reasons, but yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to take, actually I'm going to take that bit there that I said wasn't burnished that great and actually use it because I love it. And I'm just going to cut a piece off big enough to go in that mould. Move that to one side so I've got some room. And my cat is outside screaming to come in. I can hear her. She's distracting me a little bit. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to kind of just stuff it in there. And actually, I think I'm going to use my scrap to go on the back. So I'm just pushing that in there. And there's obviously a little bit left over that I don't need in the mould, so I can just go there. I'm just going to squish it in there. And this mould is a little bit battered and torn from usage, but it all comes out in the wash. So I'm just pushing that in there. I'm just going to get that scrap and I'm just going to quickly roll it out, just so I've got something to play with. Take it down a little bit thinner. Alright, and it's a pretty nice pattern on the back, so that'll look nice on the back, won't it? I'm just going to pop that on there just to fill out this mould a little bit. Okay, so when you've got your mould all nicely stuffed, and pressed in, make sure it's in all the way to the edges. I'm going to get my roller and just smooth that out a little bit. And I know this is going to need to be tidied up once I've popped it out the mould, because this mould is pretty messed up. I just want to make sure it's in there nice and packed in there nicely before I turn it out. I'll give this a smooth, and I'm just going to pop this out like so, and ooh, lovely. So there's more of the green in this one, but I kind of wanted to go with a more greeny one, which is why I went down there. There's a hint of the bronze, but not much red. So, you know, depending on where you cut, it's going to look a little different, and that's good. And I'm totally happy with that piece. So I'm going to get some paper. It didn't need tidying up as much as I thought, to be honest. It might do on the back. Just smooth these edges off a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit gnarly on the back, but I want to resin and glitter the backs of these anyway, so I'm not too worried. So I'm going to pop that one there. I'm going to get my rubbing alcohol as usual and just give this a quick wipe so it's nice and clean and nice and smooth. And there we go, that's that piece, that's what that looks like in a mould. So I'll put that to one side. Excuse me again. I'm wondering if I've got a cold coming or if this is just allergies, but my throat's really scratchy today. Right. So I'll just do the one mould. I'll show you some other pieces that I've made, like I said, from a previous batch. But just for now, I'm just going to cut out a few pieces, and I'm loving that green. So I want to get some more of that in this one. So I'm going to go at an angle like that. And that's another thing, guys, play around where you want to put your cutters to get the best look for each piece. So I'm going to go there for that one. I know round isn't a particularly stone shape, but I just like round, so I'm going to go down. Actually, no, yes, I will do that. I'm going to go round, even though it's not necessarily a particularly stone shaped type pendant, but I just like round, so I'm going to cut a round one and I'm going to dome this one, I think. So that's that one, and then we've got all of this, so I will go with one of my other favourite cutters, which is this. See, if I go over here, that's going to have nearly all red and no green, unfortunately, so I'm just going to scooch it over a little bit just to get a little bit of that green in. Like so. And then what other shapes? Shall we do some earrings? Why not? Let's go with a couple of earrings over here. And like I say, all these shapes that I'm using are on Oh Joy Creations website. I'll leave a link in the description. Oh, wait a minute. I really like this bit here. I don't want to cut away too much at this point for the earrings, so I'm just going to pop that in there before I do that and pop that there. I always like to give my cutters a little wiggle, and then we've got it. Hopefully we've got enough room to make another earring. If not, then oh well. Just enough. Alright, so obviously again there's some left, but it's just scraps at this point, so I think I would probably just ball that up and make it into a different colour. And in actual fact, that's what I did with the last batch I made, and it actually comes out a really nice colour, and I used it to make another little veneer using the leftover, you know, strips of cane that I made. I'll just quickly show you that actually. If you ball up all your scraps with those colours, and this is what you'll get. And that's what I did, like I say, for my last batch. So I'm just quickly mixing this through so you can see. I mean, it's the black overtakes it again, but there's just a nice little bit of a glimmer. It's a pretty nice colour. I don't know if you can see that, and it's got that glimmer in there from all the pearlescent clays mixed in. So you could do that, and then with your rest of your bullseye cane, which I don't have a lot left, you can just place that on there, and that's another backing. And that, like I said, that is what I did, and it actually looks pretty nice. So, you know, next to no waste, guys. But I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you how it came out when you mixed all the colours together. Alright, so they're the pieces. I'm just going to put them on this paper. Except for the round one, I'm going to dome that one. So I'm going to grab my little domey thing. I've got these listed on my Amazon storefront. They're just replacement dishes for oil burners, but they are perfect for the dome. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Just make sure it's nice and smooth around the edges. there's that piece pre-bake. I'm going to shimmy these off onto the paper. And whoops. And they can go in the oven, and I'll bake these for an hour on Premo's recommended temperature, which is 275. And there we go, guys, they're the pieces. So I'm going to go and bake these, and I will be back. I will be back. Alright guys, I've baked these, and I'll show you the sanded and buffed ones first. So there's the round one, and I absolutely love it. Gorgeous. And here's another one that I did from my previous batch. I left a lot more black showing in that one, so you can see the difference, look. But they both equally look like the stone, because like I say, some have more of the colour and some have more of the black. And I like to keep things simple, and obviously I haven't dressed this yet, but just as an example, nice little pinch bail on there and a simple black organza ribbon and cord for the necklace part. These are all listed in my Amazon storefront, as are a variety of pinch bails. So there's those. That one's from a previous batch, that's from today. This is the other one that I sanded and buffed. This is from the mould, and I absolutely love this one as well. And I decided not to resin the back, I just sanded and buffed the back as well. So that's sanded and buffed all over, all through the grits. I do have a video for that, how I finish my pieces, sand and buff, etc. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. So there's that one. And this is from my previous batch, and this is using the you know how I showed you I mixed all the colours together to get a different coloured backing. Well, that's this. So it's not as black. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I love it just as much. I did resin and glitter the back of this one. So again, I have a video that shows how I do that. So that's that one. Now these are the ones from my previous batch. Let me just make sure I pick the right ones. Yeah. That I said I was going to show you, and this is with the Kato liquid clay on them, and it does give a beautiful shine. That does take some practice how to do that. Again, there's a video where I show you how to do that, and I will leave a link for that as well. And just some cute little pretty earrings. So there's those, and then these last three are ones from today's batch that I just resined. I haven't done the backs because I wanted to resin and glitter them with black glitter, and it turns out I don't have any, so they're not finished on the backs yet, but they're the resined ones. And I don't know if you can see the difference between the resin and the Kato liquid clay. There isn't much difference. This gives a beautiful shine. But they're the pieces, guys. So I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you later. Bye.